Owen Fanning has made himself quite well known during his past 4 years as a D1 Rocket. His presence on the volleyball court was feared by every team he came across. He proved himself to be one of the top outside hitters in the whole state. We got a chance to talk to Owen about his overall experience on the boys volleyball team, as well as what his future holds. Take a look.
Coach Powell, and especially you and your whole team, was a really big advocate this year for the MIAA postseason, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you about that, getting that season. So what was that process like for you, and then to end up actually winning the state championship and being able to go through that process that you guys created? What was that like for you?
At the beginning, it was really kind of a shot in the dark, I feel like, because I think, to be honest, we weren't super hopeful that anything would really get done or change, in that we would have those games at the end of the season. But obviously, it did end up happening a lot. It was a really hectic kind of 2 or 3 weeks there where we were trying to just contact as many teams as possible, as many other athletes, spring athletes from around the state. And it paid off. And so we got to play. And then obviously, I think it makes winning state championship even sweeter.
So just talk to me a little bit about your overall experience as a D1 Rocket in volleyball. Like, what was it like going from sophomore year, being a starter, obviously missing junior year, and then having the great senior season that you did?
I mean, overall, I would say I think my experience was similar to everyone who kind of plays for our program. I mean, it's a really, really, really tight-knit group. A really hard-working group. We know that. It's kind of a big commitment for us. We play a lot of volleyball year-round, for a lot of us do. And it's a really successful group. I mean, that's what kind of attracts competitive people, is having a successful team. And so that's kind of what attracted me, and it's definitely paid off in the end. I mean, we were really a strong team every year. I think we had a chance to kind of compete in the end days of the MIA tournament.
So you did miss a good majority of the beginning of the season due to injury. And even, with that, you were still Boston Herald and Boston Globe, all Scholastic, still racked up a bunch of stats for the games that you did play. So what does it feel like, even having missed games, that you were still acknowledged for the talent that you have?
I mean, I'm super grateful for the fact that we get as much kind of like media pub from that as we do. It's a really cool thing to kind of see your name represented like that. So yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with being surrounded by a really strong, successful team that even missing like the first half of the season, we still didn't lose any games or any sets, and they were just as strong without me. So it's a cool feeling to be able to hop right back in and contribute a lot because of all the work that your teammates have done.
Put in a lot of work to be as great as you are. You are going to play D1 volleyball. So, what is it like to, have that sense of accomplishment, feeling that like you did what you wanted to do, was go to play D1, have a great high school career? It's
really fulfilling. It definitely, like you said, it makes it kind of all feel worth it. I'm working really hard and just playing a lot throughout high school and even before high school when I started playing volleyball. So yeah, it's really fulfilling. It was a huge shock to me when I got into Harvard, because I knew if I got in, I would be on the team, but I didn't necessarily know that like being on the team would get me in, if that makes sense. So it was a huge shock, and I'm just super grateful that I get to play more. It's very exciting.
Obviously, Harvard is known for academics as well, so that's a great accomplishment too. Was it always Harvard that you wanted to go to? Like, what made you choose that school?
Well, I think it's definitely always my number one choice, obviously academics, and also there's not really a lot of men's D1 volleyball, especially on the East Coast. There's not a ton of options for that, and I think, Harvard was just kind of the perfect fit for me. The level of volleyball that I wanted to continue playing and not having to compromise any academics or anything like that. So yeah, I think it's always been in the back of my mind, kind of my number one choice.
What is it about volleyball in general that made you want to continue to pursue it? And why do you love the sport so much?
So volleyball, obviously, especially on the East Coast, is not and it's super popular sport for boys. But I would say for me, it started seeing my older brother play, and older sister actually at the high school, and to see how much fun they had. I would have probably never been introduced to it if not for them. So I'm super grateful to them. But yeah, it's a really fun team sport. I mean, every point is kind of high energy. And yeah, there's a lot of team energy, team excitement that makes it really fun to play. It's a really rewarding sport to play.